The most watched, the most trusted. Eyewitness News, everywhere you are. Time now for your forecast first on Eyewitness News, the CW7.
Depending where you live in the tri-state this evening, you're seeing either a mainly clear sky or a partly cloudy sky, especially if you're to the south and west there of Evansville. Got a partly cloudy sky and no rain tonight, so don't worry about that. Everything's good there. And we're actually going to have some sunshine for our weekend as well. We'll be in the upper 30s at 7 o'clock. Highs tomorrow warmer than today in the low to mid 50s, but the clouds do increase tomorrow night. Some rain arrives and a cool down's on the way that could bring some snow to the tri-state. So I'll let you know what to expect. My full forecast is coming up soon.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Amanda Mueller. Right now at 9, a fatal crash in Owensboro. Why one person is facing charges tonight. Plus, a busy afternoon for firefighters in Gibson County after 2 separate fires. We'll tell you what we know. And get out that king cake. It's Mardi Gras in the tri-state. Eyewitness News at 9 starts right now.
Live from the CW7 studio, this is Eyewitness News at 9.
We begin tonight in Owensboro. One person passed away after a crash involving 2 vehicles. Police say the accident happened around 3:30 this morning in the 2900 block of Ridgewood Street. One of the cars rolled over and a passenger was ejected and pronounced dead at the scene. 51-year-old Scotty Stewart is facing charges tonight. He was taken to a hospital for injuries. The victim's identity has not yet been released. In Saline County, Illinois, another person passed away after a rollover crash. According to police, the driver was traveling northbound on US 45 approaching Cook Road. The driver then ran off the right side of the road, traveling several feet before overturning. The driver was taken to an area hospital where he was pronounced dead. A man has been arrested after authorities say they found several explosive devices at his home in Rockport. Police say officers received a tip about drug activity at that home on Friday. Authorities searched the home and discovered an open box of explosives. The resident of the property, Jesse Chancellor, was arrested and taken to the Spencer County Law Enforcement Center. He's facing several charges tonight, including 22 counts of possession of a destructive device. Small Indiana fire departments were busy today with multiple calls coming in around the same time. Crews in Gibson County were called to 2 different fires. One happened in Francisco, another in Princeton. Eyewitness News' Miranda Meister has the details.
Burnt barns remain after fires in 2 different Gibson County cities. The first in Princeton, where a barn caught fire after the homeowner says a possible cigarette wasn't put out all the way. The owner says the barn holds more than just material objects. It holds memories because her husband built it. When she saw the flames, she ran through the black smoke to get her car out. That other fire less than 20 miles away in Francisco. There, the fire chief says kids playing around could have been the cause.
I guess some kids were playing with a lighter.
Firefighters worries not stopping at the flames. They say they were concerned about the cars inside the barn.
The magnesium alloys, and that can explode. Water will set it off.
Volunteer fire departments responded to both fires. Luckily, no one was hurt. In Gibson County, Miranda Meister, Eyewitness News.
Continuing coverage tonight on the coronavirus, South Korea has seen a surge of new cases in the last 3 days. On Wednesday evening, the country had roughly 50 cases, which has since increased to more than 200. Most cases are spreading from a religious group in the southern city of Daegu, which is now under special management. Paula Hancock reports.
South Korea's massive spike in novel coronavirus cases can be linked to one religious group. Officials say one member attended services in this building in the southern city of Daegu while infected. Well over half of the country's cases now trace back to the Shincheonji group. Government officials have shut down religious services to stop the spread. Health officials say that they're trying to get in touch with every single member of this congregation. They say there's over 1,000 to try and stem this spike, but they admit that they are having difficulties. On Friday, they said that they are still trying to get hold of 57 people. A 5-minute drive away is a US military base. US Forces Korea are restricting access on and off the base. Non-essential travel to the city has been prohibited.
The nice thing is, because we can be secluded from the general population, people are more safe on our base than they are off the base.
I mean, what's morale like? How is everyone feeling on base being shut in there?
People are nervous. They're spooked. You know, if somebody is sick near them, they're very nervous.
3 South Korean military personnel have been confirmed to have the virus elsewhere in the country, but all have links back to Daegu. The mayor has asked everyone to wear a mask and stay indoors if they can. So this is the city centre of Daegu. This is where all the shops, the restaurants, the bars are. And I've been here before on a weekend and it has been packed. This is early Friday evening and there are very few people here, which shows that people are either staying at home or making sure they are not in a crowd. Are you worried?
Me and my mother and parents, friends are worried, very worried. It's dangerous.
It's very shocking because it's spreading from just one small group of people.
The government has designated Daegu and neighbouring Cheondo special care zones, meaning more doctors and funds will be provided. The focus shifting now from trying to prevent the virus entering the country to stemming the spread that's within.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved a new medication to help lower cholesterol. Esperion's nalexitol is a once-daily tablet that is an alternative for millions of patients that can't take or don't respond well to statins. The company says it's the first oral non-statin drug approved in nearly 2 decades. During studies, the drug reduced cholesterol in patients by an average of 18% when used with moderate or high-intensity statins. The new drug could become available as early as late March. If you haven't filed to get a new Real ID, you might want to find time for it because very soon the type of driver's license you have will determine if you can get onto a plane. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security says 2/3 of the United States driver's licenses are not compliant with the post-9/11 security law. The Real ID compliant identification law goes into effect October 1st. To get the Real ID, applicants must provide documentation showing their full legal name, their date of birth, their social security number, 2 proofs of address to their local driver's license agency. Acting DHS Secretary says the department's top priority is getting every state compliant by the deadline. If you don't have the Real ID, TSA officials will not clear you to fly. In Illinois, people are rushing to become Real ID compliant and have caused delays at some state service facilities. Reporter Sarah Schulte has the story of how some government agencies are dealing with the crowds.
Illinois Secretary of State's service facilities are jammed lately. Expect long lines as residents are getting their Real IDs before October. Because the deadline is months away, the wait caught some people off guard while others were prepared.
Just run in and run out, but I'm stuck here.
It's never a good time to do these things, especially go to the DMV, never fun, but how to do it.
Starting October 1st, the federal government is requiring all U.S. residents who plan to fly domestically to present a Real ID compliant driver's license at TSA checkpoints. A military ID or valid U.S. passport is acceptable as well.
I actually was unaware that you don't need one if you have a passport. So I have a valid passport, so I figured I would just renew the one that I have now.
Well, I don't want to carry my passport around with me everywhere I go. It's also a risk if I lose it.
While demand for the Real ID has been high around the country, airports worry it's not high enough and fear passengers will not be ready by October 1st. So far, Illinois has issued 800,000 Real IDs. The Secretary of State's office believes the state is on pace and residents will be ready to go by the deadline.
We're making every effort to try to get people through as quickly as possible. We've expanded the hours and hired new employees.
To accommodate the crowds, Chicago area facilities are now open on Saturdays. If you plan to get a Real ID, come prepared with the appropriate documents: a passport or a birth certificate, social security card or a W-2, and 2 documents that provide proof of residence, such as a bank or bill statements. And all must be hard or printed copies, not images from a cell phone. The specific requirements are determined by the federal government, not the state of Illinois.
Well, get out that king cake because it was Mardi Gras in the tri-state. The Franklin Street Events Association wrapped up another Mardi Gras parade earlier today. Because of the nice weather, Franklin Street was filled with hundreds of spectators. The parade has numerous floats that traveled down West Franklin from Lamasco to St. Joe Avenue. Of course, it's not a Mardi Gras celebration without colorful beads and candy for the kids.
It's been amazing. Crowds have been great. We've heard from all of our friends up and down the street. They've been busy. We love to see it. People walking Franklin Street, shopping Franklin Street, and just falling in love with Franklin.
This was the 8th year for the event. 45 students from schools around the tri-state will get the chance to put their knowledge to the test in the 2020 EVSC Regional Spelling Bee. The competition is next Saturday at the EVSC Academy for Innovative Studies. Students from Helfrich Park STEM Academy, Plaza Park International Prep Academy, Tompkins Middle School, and Washington Middle School will be there. Students from various schools in Illinois and Kentucky will also be competing. The winner will compete in the 2020 Scripps National Spelling Bee near Washington, D.C. later this spring. Still ahead tonight on Eyewitness News, our science guy Jason Lindsay shows us how to transform chemical energy to light using some rocket power. But first, back here on Earth, Joe Bird has a look at your forecast.
S-U-N?
Y-E-S.
R-A-I-N? You want some of that too?
No, hello.
I don't want the rain either, but it is going to be with us as we get to the end of our weekend. But the good news is it won't be till later tomorrow night, especially when a lot of folks are going to bed. But it is going to be a wet start to the work week. Now, Evansville topped out today, temperature-wise at 49 degrees. I'll talk about some 50s, some rain, some cold, maybe even some snow when Eyewitness News at 9 continues.